Good morning. We are in the walking city, which is an affectionate nickname for Ponteverdra, because they've converted a lot of streets for pedestrians, and it really is a pleasure. So it's super early in the morning, sun's not up, but we have miles to go.
Yeah, and we're off onto a more wilderness part of the hike today on the Variant Spirit Trail. So looking forward to that. And it's going to be a wonderful day. Temperatures are warming up, and it looks like it's going to be clear blue skies today.
Yes.
See you next time.
Ciao.
Today, we left the stunning city of Ponteverdra so early in the morning that we started walking in total darkness and under the stars. We strolled the ancient, silent, wide streets, passing incredible architecture and an archaeological dig before crossing a glorious new bridge. The bridge was beautifully highlighted with artwork, subtly lit with tiny blue lights that looked like constellations. As we exited Ponteverdra, we began a long climb up and over a small mountain. It was a hard climb so early in the morning, but the occasional sound of roosters crowing made me smile and lifted my spirits as we greeted the new day.
Well, good morning. We left Ponteverdra, beautiful city, and we have walked far enough that we're at the very beginning of the spiritual route. I'll let Terry tell you a little bit about it.
So we're at a split in the road again. We have the spiritual route heading to our left and the Camino Portuguese heading to our right. The spiritual route's a 3-day journey with a looks like a 30-kilometer boat ride up the river to join back in.
The question is, do we go shorter, more direct, or do we see something incredible?
Well, I think we go see something incredible. See you later.
Ciao.
Terry and I were thrilled that we do have enough time to squeeze the spiritual variant in as an extra adventure on our Camino pilgrimage. At the top of the mountain, we found ourselves in an ancient town site with a church, petroglyphs, and wandering dogs accompanying us. Then began the long descent back down the mountainside through the fragrant eucalyptus forests to the modern and yet ancient coastal town of Cambaro on the opposite shore. It was a delight to find a patisserie, stop to enjoy a café con leche, rest and have a small meal before getting supplies for the long 7-kilometer grueling climb back upward into the interior mountains. Few pilgrims choose this route, and the few we did encounter were very hot and tired, seeking solitude rather than conversation, as we all were focused on taking small steps forward, as stopping for a rest is a last resort. Once you have rested your feet and legs, the pain of restarting is simply not worth the rest, as muscles complain loudly when asked to resume the climb. And so we all slowly persevered to the pinnacle. Today is overcast but extremely hot and humid, making for difficult walking and frequent pauses to sip our rationed water. In my mind, reaching the top of the climb was my goal, and so I was flabbergasted to realize that the journey was not over, and in fact, although the next 5 kilometers were descending, they were the hardest of the day. The road had become granite marbles, which was treacherous, slippery, and hard on our feet. Then, to my astonishment, the clear, wide path turned into a tiny trail that looked suspiciously like a cow path, tumbling steeply downward into a jumble of rocks. We could not believe that we were on the proper trail, but the yellow arrows, signs, and Terry's GPS confirmed that this was indeed the right path, and so we scrambled downward. Eventually, we turned a final corner, and far ahead we saw the glorious sight of pilgrims sitting at a bar at the base of our trail. Hallelujah! To the left of the bar was the monastery, a major reason for this Camino, and there truly are no words to give it justice. Terry and I immediately explored the massive structure. I sang in the empty, echoing, arched hallways, and we were reverently silent and prayerful in the sanctuary. Tonight at 7 p.m., there is a blessing of the pilgrims, which we plan to attend. We were warned in our research that although this is called the spiritual variant, this route is not any more spiritual than any other Camino. So when we stopped to enjoy our first pilgrim's meal at the bar near the gate of the Monastery de Santa Maria, we were not surprised, but simply disappointed when the waiter tried to overcharge us, and then we overheard someone speak unkindly about pilgrims. Sigh. What a perfect reminder that our earth and even our churches are broken places, full of broken people. How ironic and funny that at the gates of the monastery on the spiritual route was the only place on our entire pilgrimage that we weren't treated nicely. I love God's sense of humor. However, just a few hours later, Terry and I were blown away by abounding, overflowing gratitude at the unexpected kindness of the albergue host. He had overheard us struggling to make a reservation for the following night, and he insisted on helping us. After he made several calls, he confirmed that, yes, everything was completely full. But then he persevered and kept calling, asking favors, until he found someone that would help us. With grateful hearts, we then attended the blessing of the pilgrims during evening mass at the monastery, where we soaked in the atmosphere, peace, and blessings of the nuns and priest. We ended this day grateful for the kindness of strangers that Camino provides. Buenas noches.